Nescafe Classic has that strong coffee taste that will keep you sharp and focused as you stay on your grind. Today on Nescafe Classic Grind Sessions, we are talking about the grind through the lens of professional traders and retailers. My guests are two phenomenal women. First up, it is Nondumiso Nkosi. She is the creative and managing director of Beadoo Productions. They produce playful style of custom handcrafted beadworks, and they are gorgeous. She's wearing one right now. You see the lady? You see the girl? You see the gal? We're also joined by Naledi Monamodi, who is the founder and co-owner of a beverage craft brand. It is a bespoke product and it is proudly South African. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us on Nescafe Classic Grind Sessions.
Thank you for having us.
We're going to be talking about your grind. And you know, the thing about grinding is that it's a process, right? It starts somewhere and at the end of the day, you see something that is beautiful. And we want to get your insights of your true story. There are things that nobody else knows. So let's start things off with telling me a little bit more about your business, what it is that you do, and the why of the path that you chose. I'll start with you, Nondumiso.
Thank you. Okay, so at Beadoo, we produce custom handcrafted beadworks, and our core product is the headpiece, which is the Beadoo. It is custom made to a person's head measurements, and to their desired color combinations, their detail that they are interested in, and also the length combinations, right? This is something that speaks to you as an individual. Hence, like, everyone will have, a different mood to their Beadoo. Not one Beadoo is the same as another one.
Because we're not the same one from another, right? Yeah.
So we should start creating things like that, that inspire people to be who they are, the original them, so that they can, be happy and inspired and do all the things that they want to do proudly. So I was in performance arts and hip hop industry, and now I wanted to create something tangible, like something that I could see. Like I could look back at a week and say, this is what I did.
I made this.
This is what I did. This is what I did with my time. So that was what it was about in the beginning.
Yeah.
I finally created this thing, which was so difficult for me. And it was important to do something difficult. So when I had created it, I realized what it did for me. Like I sort of felt like I healed myself and a lot of these incomplete cycles that I had gone through. And then I wanted, and when I wore it and people saw me and they were just like, wow, this is so amazing. I knew I need to share this. It's not just for me.
Yeah.
I need to share this thing. I have to create this for other women, And then, so it became like a tool. So I felt like I had this tool, and it just seemed so infinite in my head. Like,
and it came to
the
life.
worlds it could go to, the kind of things I could do with it. And also now, what was even more was that because it's so labor intensive, like, it needs hands.
It's like,
it's
hard work. There's a thing that says
jobs.
It's hard work, but it's heart work.
Yes.
Because it's so intentional.
Yes.
For you, Naledi, the path and the why. I mean, a craft beverage, more girl.
So many people thought I was crazy when I kept telling them, this is what I want to do. They were like, are you crazy? You'll never do that. That is how? And for me, Hulisani, the one thing that motivates me in life is when someone tells me you cannot do it. There's no ways. That one tester, and it So that's exactly what happened with me. But the most important thing was the why, which is my son. I had a baby, and I just felt like I didn't have anything that I could leave for him if anything was to happen to me, or, because life is life, anything can happen. Yeah. And my thing was, I wanted to build an empire and have something that can outlive me and even him. Yeah. And that's why I was like, actually, let's research and see, how do we do this thing and how do we make sure it is amazing? So that's when I started getting into, looking into how the industry looks like, the world of beverages, and here we are.
The rest is history. Both of you are really touching on the importance of finding purpose in your grind, finding purpose in what it is that wakes you up every single day, because that's also the thing that's going to keep you going, right? Let's talk about being in the trade space in such a difficult time? Like both of you have essentially had to operate throughout COVID. I mean, you've had to create and produce and you know, bring out this product during COVID. The challenges and how you've overcome them and what those, you know, exact challenges were trading in such an oversaturated market. You more so in the beverage space.
Yeah. So I remember when lockdown happened, I was probably the most frustrated person in South Africa. I'm like, yo, lockdown, because at that time, I've got so much stock and it's sitting right there and I see it every day when I wake up. But there's nothing I can do about it. And because of that, I didn't have any money. So what ended up happening is once all the bans were lifted and we got to level 1 and stuff, and I could start trading again just to normal consumers, me taking the product to you and whatever. Do you know, like, it was so difficult. And people probably thought, oh my word, now you're getting orders, but that's not how it works. When you get the money, you have to put it back into the business.
On that thought, Nondumiso, e-commerce versus retail, how do you make the decision of how are you going to trade your particular product?
Okay, so for me, it's been important to communicate directly with my clients because it's very personal, and so I like to have that direct interaction with no middleman, or I have, you know, and also it's something that is custom made. So people contact us directly, and the power in that is that now, you know, you're not sharing, because at the level that we are now, it's still a startup business, and every fund, all the funds that we get, we literally are also still plugging into the business, you know, to build. So I feel that it would be a bit more costly to deal with like an external distributor or whatever. But now the power in e-commerce also is that it is still a direct form, but now like you're tapping into like an international market. And for us, like that is the business, because now we're able to sell to people in Tokyo, America, whatever, directly that are talking. So every information, all the questions that they ask about the product, they're not asking like at some shop at a retail, someone who doesn't have the passion for it. They're getting it directly, you know, so then we're able to impact more effectively.
Hold that thought there, because I think there is really a greater discussion to be had around understanding how your product is going to perform via certain routes and what is better for you, and if it's even better to just have a mix of all of it, right? This is Nescafe Classic Grind Sessions. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Nescafe Classic Grind Sessions. So we left it on the point, Naledi, where you were explaining, when you see my product on the shelves in certain retail shops, understand that my profit margin is like practically non-existent. So how do you understand and how do you learn how it's almost like, you know how there's a marketing mix? It's almost like you must have a trade mix. How do you figure that out? That I'm going to sell part online, part in stores. Like, how do you figure that out?
So with me, what I've done is I've made it 50-50. So I've put 50% of the stock every month on online, trying to get into retailer, stuff like that. And then the other 50% is always on me. Because, I also I honestly prefer it. And I think for every small business, when you're starting out, have that interaction with your consumer. Go and give the product. Go and say thank you. When they're ordering, be the one who's answering. Like, you really need to build on that, because the one thing about also having a small business, you want people to come back. And they'll come back also, not just because of the product being amazing, but the experience as a whole. So I think when you're starting out, try not to go directly into retailers. Do not put pressure on yourself for that, because you're really not going to be making that much money unless you're a big brand that's been around for like 20 years. And that's what I'm competing with. So obviously I want to be in retailers so that when you see the big brands and the competition, you see me. But honestly speaking, I always urge people, please buy directly from me. It means a lot more. I get to have that interaction with you. You can even tell me after you've had the product what you think. Give me a little survey.
Let's be honest, I get to make more.
Yeah.
Thomas actually does that even better in a more systematic way, actually. That what I've realized is that it's been a plus that the people have been buying directly, in a sense that now I understand exactly what the sales process is and what is important, what is key in it. Now I can take that and now put it onto a website, and the people can see the work clearer, and then they can also then, like, when they ask the questions, you know, I still know how to kind of still keep it personal and organic, because that is what is powerful or strong about that it's like something that someone feels like they were
for them. It's one-on-one.
It's for them. It's one-on-one. So kind of not to lose that about it, but then be able to get to more people, and also just also a little bit of less back and forth.
Now, when it comes to, I mean, you guys are trading in very like particular products, you know, it is super luxe, it's a premium product for both of you. How do you make the decision of whether your product is going to be about quality or about quantity? How did you make that decision for you?
It's quality. Like quality, I think, like, you know, the less just broken things we have in the society, the better. Like, you know, that stuff where you buy, like, within a week or so, now you have to throw it away. And, like, you know, and other things, you're like, yo, can I even put this in the bin? Like, you know, so it's like, we need to just have things that we value more, that last longer, that's gonna save our planet, and also it's just going to, you know, create your life that, you know, these are my things, you know, and you live with them for a while, and then when you're done with them, you're done. But it's like, it's not wasteful. Yeah.
Naledi, some of the mistakes that you made in the beginning, because nobody ever talks about the mistakes. Like, listen, I actually spent money and this was completely the wrong thing. What were some of the mistakes for you in your business?
Firstly, I wish I knew in the beginning that you actually need money to start. Like, especially with something that I'm doing, you don't just start, because as I was telling you off camera, for the first year and a half, all I had was a presentation and the idea in my mind.
No beverage.
No sample, nothing. And because of that, I think that's why my process took so long for me, being able to get people to listen to me. Because it was like, okay, you've got this amazing idea. Where is it though? Where is it at? But I knew it would cost money to try and do it. But I was figuring it out as I was going. So you please save up money before you try and dabble into something as big as, you know, as I'm trying to do. Like, you need to save up, and also you need to be willing to learn. I am learning every day. In every meeting I step into, when I leave that meeting, I'm like, oh, that's how you do that. I'm always willing to learn.
Even the meetings where they say to you, where's this? And you're like, did I need that?
I'm like, okay, we'll send it tomorrow before close of business.
Kasi you don't even have it.
I'm only gonna do it now. So you learn as you go, and you also need to be willing to learn.
And for you, Nondumiso, biggest mistake? Like, just, you know, go there.
Let me sip on it.
Is it that bad that you need to take a sip of something strong?
Time, guys, time. When it comes to business, time is everything. And one of the mistakes that I was making was that because I was so passionate and I loved doing what I was doing, it's like I wanted to just do the beating the whole time. And I was not spending enough time with my family. Like, I mean, I wasn't even focusing on other aspects of the business. First of all, I had told myself that, look, like, I'm not ready to market this because I need to figure it out first. Because, like, how do I really make it something that someone can buy? Like, it's a product. Like, it's now a product from, like, an artifact.
Not a hobby. It's not something I do for fun. It's not a historical thing.
Yeah, like, it's an artifact, and it's now I've chosen to make it a business, so it's now a product. And, like, now I can't be caught up in, like, the artistic, all the details. Sometimes I need to know these things I need to cut out. This is not good. This is gonna delay my production time. Therefore, I won't be able to deliver on time. And also, like, just my frame of mind. Like, now, I'd be so tired. I'd have like 3 hours of sleep a day sometimes. because I'm like beating and now my eyes are not even white anymore.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, so now I need to start understanding time. These are the hours that I work. When it hits this, I need to put everything down and do something else. So like time management, you know.
We often
I
forget
made a lot of
self-care
mistakes
when it
there.
comes to the grind, right? We're so busy and so focused and being wrapped up in the grind that you don't remember to take care of yourself.
Yep.
Burnout. Have you burnt out before?
Of course, all the time. All the time. I have actually had such a bad burnout that I ended up leaving my own business. I left the company. I left the company. It was crazy. And I didn't just leave it because of burnout, but it was burnout and also fighting with my partner who I do the business with. We got to a point where we were just clashing too much. I wanted this, they wanted, it was not working. So I was like, you know what? Actually, right now, I'm going to choose my peace of mind.
So before we go to a break, it's like coffee is a perfect blend, right? You take it from the bean, it's the spices, it's the aroma. And I looked at you agreeing so much when a lady was like, yo, my business partner, did you get the blend wrong?
Wow, you know, first of all, I think like I'm one of those lucky women that it's hard for me to say men are trash because like I have such an amazing partner who supports me, you know. But like there were times when we started having a lot of conflict, you know, in our relationship because of the fact that I was just obsessed with my business, you know, and I was not making enough time with the kids and him and anything else. You know, like we'd go out with like music, we'd had moments when we'd say, okay, like sometimes we'd spend an hour and just like listen to one album. And
but
just,
your
like,
mind is not even there. You're just like, I want to get back to my grind.
Like,
I've got beadwork to do.
A message pops in, it's a sale, yeah.
Oh man, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, let's find out from the ladies when they wanted to quit.
Yeah.
What was that thing that said, girl, don't quit, stay on your grind?
Come on.
Welcome back to the Nescafe Classic Grind Sessions. Today, I am joined by Nondumiso and Naledi, powerful, phenomenal woman on the rise. Like, actually, Wumugel, I think you're already, you know, when you're at the top of the top.
Thank you.
You're just about to go into the stratosphere, as they say. We're talking about the grind through the lens of being in the space of trading. For you, before I ask you about the things that, you know, made you want to quit and how you stayed in the game, let me come to Nondumiso and talk about trademarking, because you have a product, you have unique products. The trademarking game, do you do it in the beginning, in the end, in between? Like, when did you do it and how did it work for your business?
Okay, so I think for me, I didn't do it in the beginning when I registered the business, but I did it, I think 2 years. I think it's about understanding even, for me, I guess, I think it might be a different situation with different products, you know. But for me, it was understanding what is trade, what is to trademark about this? What is it, you know? Yeah. So like, I mean, for instance, people always say, yeah, the beaded wig or whatever. And I always say, it's a beadoo, girl. It's a beadoo. The beadoo original.
Yeah.
You know, like, so it's about like really telling your story. And also another thing, one of the things that actually, it's so important that you ask about this is people, that's the biggest question I've always been asked. Like the first, 80% of the time, a person will ask, have you patented this? People will copy this. You know, and I'm like, okay, okay, I get that. It's a very negative space to be in, thinking someone is doing something against you, taking something from you and all of that. I didn't want to be in that space. So I knew that, okay, so what I need to do is to make sure that I take this thing to the highest levels. Like I have to spend all my energy to make sure that it's at the platforms where if someone is wearing this, it's a beadoo.
They know exactly.
It's a beadoo.
Yes.
It's in Black is King by Beyonce, baby. That's a
beadoo. Not a fly by night, a beadoo.
You start to discover actually that some of these things, you know, it's some version or something of it has been created before.
It already exists.
So make that get more into what it is you're telling, and then that will permit, like you'll see that.
It will take you on.
Yeah.
Okay, Naledi, I'm young then. I'm watching you right now. I am on my grind and I'm like, I'm ready to take this into shops. I'm ready to take this, into those big retailers. What must I prepare when I'm entering into those meetings?
For me, I'm going to make it as simple as possible so that I'm not going to use the big jargon words that they use. Simple 3 things that I think you need to have, whether you like it or not. Number 1, you need to have a document that has all the nitty-gritties about your product. How much does it weigh? What is the packaging? Does it have a special packaging? How many do you sell? Is there promotion?
Wow.
You need to have a document that shows them this is what it will be, this is how much it weighs, this is what it looks like, it's meant to be this color.
And the different variations.
And the different variations if you have a range of different products. So it's called a trade presenter. You need that. They will not list your product without something that shows all the fine details of what your product is.
I learned something new today, a trade presenter. Okay.
Number two is you need to know your numbers. So if your business has already been running for at least 3 months, take those 3 months, all that work that's there, all the invoices to see how the projections grow. Because you need to understand when you go to a retail and you say, can you please have my product in your store? You are taking out shelf space. And that shelf space, they won't give it to you if it's not going to be selling. Because now somebody else could be there. Yes, it's a waste of space. So you need to show them my product sells like this. Towards month end, that's when you'll see most people buying it. Like you need to show them all the numbers.
Analytics.
Data
is important.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the final thing that I would say is confidence. Don't doubt yourself when you're there. You must get into that meeting, no matter who you are sitting with in the meeting, because it always happens in a meeting. You must know what you're about. You must be proud. Even if you want to fumble with a question, just fumble. They don't know the answer. You figure it out later. But you have to be confident. Otherwise, they're not going to do it.
And even if you give an answer such as, we'll get back to you by the end of the day, or we'll be sure to send this through to you tomorrow, it is better than having no answer.
Yeah. Just be confident, man.
Okay.
This is your thing. Push it. You've been grinding all this time only to fail at the last point. Push.
You can do this. Speaking about pushing, let's be honest. There are points in your grind where you're just like, actually, let me just go back to my corporate job because this is just not worth it anymore. Take me to that moment, that day when you wanted to quit, and what kept you on your grind?
I remember, it's been a couple of times, but for me, it's remembering where I was, that bottom where I had no vision of what could happen next, like what is going to happen with my life, and where I just felt so useless, and I think when I get to those times where I want to quit, I remember that, and I don't want to go back to that, because I've seen the possibility of better, of me being the best me that I can be, and now other people becoming something like that through what I've done. And that just really, really pushes me. Like it really pushes me, because even I see that I could be removed from this, and this is something that can still be impactful in the world and make it better. So I want to be part of that.
You're not about to quit anytime soon.
I'm not.
And for you, Naledi, that dark day where you're just like, I'm good, I'm done here.
Yo, Hulisani, this takes me back actually to a question you asked Nondumiso earlier. It was the day that I was in a meeting with the potential investor I had at the time, and out of the blue during the meeting, they take their phone and they call their lawyer. And they're like, oh yeah, Konje, listen, what did you say we must trademark it as? And I kept quiet. I'm like, are these people about to trademark this thing? Wait, I've not, trademark? That's when I was like, oh my word, they have just taken this baby away from me. I'm about to work for these people for the rest of my life. I came up with the idea, they've now trademarked it. That day, Hulisan, I went home and I cried and I'm like, do I give it up? Do I just do it just for the sake of, you know what, at least the product is there and people love it. But I was like, no ways. I went, we found a lawyer and we spoke to the lawyer. I literally took the day off from my 9 to 5. I'm like, I can't come to work, I'm sick. I wasn't sick.
I was sick of somebody trying to steal my business.
I was with the lawyer the entire day. I'm like, please check for me. On the phone call, they said, should they? Meaning they haven't yet. Can you please check if we can trademark ASAP? And that lawyer, like, God bless, we did God bless, Mutu Ole Batong, Untusite, o trademark ile instantly. And within a few months, we had it. I was like,
I'm gonna stay on my grind.
And that's when I knew that, like, actually, this shows that this is a dope idea.
Yeah.
The fact that they were trying to take it sneaky. Yeah. I was like, this is a dope idea. Now I don't want them anymore. I'm gonna do this thing myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lastly, ladies, I am a young person watching you today, and I'm tired. My tired is tired. I'm about to give up and quit my grind. I want you to complete this sentence for me. Stay on your grind because.
Stay on your grind because if you don't, who will?
Yeah.
Who must do it for you?
Yeah.
Do it. How na choice? How na choice?
Oh, well, ladies, I'm taking your own advice and I'm throwing it back at you. Stay on your grind. Yeah. It has been such a pleasure getting to know you and your stories and just learning about your grind and what it means to you. Yeah. So, Naledi Monamodi, Nondumiso Nkosi. I want to say your full names because people must remember your names. They must remember that they are, don't despise small beginnings because there's always somewhere that you're going and we're watching. So thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I know, you wish we had more time. I do too. But that is how we wrap up today's Nescafe Classic Grind Sessions. All about you and created for you so that we inspire you and we keep you going because we know it gets hard sometimes. You want to quit on your dream. You want to quit on that goal. But we're saying, son. Keep going. Stay on your grind. Be sure that you keep following us at Nescafe SA on Twitter and all our other social media platforms. And we'll also let you know exactly where you can find the podcast for today's session.